Have you ever felt like your relationship isn't what it used to be? Like the love is still there, but the joy, the connection, the ease, somehow, it's slipped away. You're not alone. So many women reach a point where they realize they've been carrying the weight of the relationship for far too long. The emotional labor becomes overwhelming, the conversations feel shallow, and the spark that once came so naturally, well, it just isn't there anymore. Maybe you've spent years making sure everyone else is happy, managing the household, keeping the peace, putting others first, only to realize no one's pouring that same love and care back into you. Or maybe retirement didn't bring the closeness you hoped for. Instead, it highlighted how far apart you've grown. The truth is, relationships change over time, and sometimes we outgrow them. But that doesn't mean you have to settle for feeling unheard, unappreciated, or stuck. In this video, we're going to talk about the real reasons women leave long-term relationships. Not out of anger, but out of a quiet, powerful realization that life is too short to stay where you're no longer thriving. If you've ever felt like you're giving more than you're receiving, or like the love you have isn't the love you need, this is for you. Let's start with the first, and often heaviest, burdens emotional labor. You know that feeling when you're the one who remembers everything? Birthdays, doctor's appointments, what's in the fridge for dinner? It's all on your mental checklist, not his. Emotional labor isn't just about doing chores, it's the invisible work of managing emotions, anticipating needs, and keeping the whole ship afloat. And over time, that weight gets heavier. Maybe you've asked yourself, why am I the only one worrying about this? You remind him to call the kids, you plan the social calendar, you notice when he's stressed. But when was the last time he did the same for you? It's exhausting to feel like the project manager of your relationship, especially when you didn't sign up for the job. And here's the thing, resentment doesn't show up overnight. It creeps in slowly, in all those moments you bite your tongue instead of saying, I need help. But here's what's important. You deserve a partner who shares the load, not just the fun parts. If you're tired of being the glue holding everything together, it's okay to admit that. And it's okay to ask for change. Start small, hand over a task completely, without stepping in to fix it. If he forgets his sister's birthday, let him handle the fallout. It's not cruel. It's giving him the chance to step up. Because a relationship should feel like teamwork, not a one-woman show. Remember when you used to talk for hours about dreams, fears, silly little nothings. Now, conversations might feel more like transactions. What's for dinner? Did you pay the bill? And less like connection. When communication fades, loneliness grows, even if you're sitting right next to each other. It's not just about talking more, it's about talking differently. Maybe you've tried to share your feelings, only to hear, you're overthinking it. Or worse, silence. That dismissal stings because it's not just about the topic, it's about feeling unimportant. A relationship can't survive on surface-level chatter forever. You crave depth, understanding, someone who wants to know your heart, not just your schedule. So how do you fix it? First, name it. Say, "I miss our real conversations." Then create space for them. No phones, no distractions. Ask open questions. What's something you've been proud of lately? Or, what's a memory you've been thinking about? If he's hesitant, be patient. Rebuilding emotional intimacy takes time. But if he keeps shutting you down, that's not a communication problem. It's a priority problem, and you deserve more than being someone's background noise. It's 2024, but somehow, the mental load of running a home still falls on women, even when both partners are retired. You cook, you clean, you organize, while he helps when asked. But why should you have to ask? It's his house too. This isn't about nitpicking. It's about fairness. Studies show women do hours more unpaid labor than men, and it's draining your energy. Energy you could spend on hobbies, friends, or yourself. If you've ever thought, "It's easier to just do it myself," that's the problem. You're not his manager, you're his partner. Try this. Make a list of all the invisible tasks you do, planning meals, noticing the toilet paper's low. Show him. Say, "This is what I juggle daily. Which tasks can you take over completely?" Not help. Own if he balks. Ask, "Do you think I enjoy this more than you do?" Because love isn't just about grand gestures. It's about sharing the mundane, too. People change, especially over decades. Maybe you've worked on yourself, explored new interests, or healed old wounds. But if he's stayed exactly the same, that gap can start to feel like a canyon. Growth isn't selfish, it's human. You might still care for him deeply, but if you're evolving and he's resisting, whether it's refusing therapy, dismissing your passions, or clinging to outdated roles, it's natural to feel stuck. A relationship should stretch to fit both of you, not ask you to shrink back to who you were 20 years ago. Ask yourself, does this relationship still have room for who I am becoming? If the answer's no, that's a grief only you can tend to. But it's also a sign the future you want might require brave choices. You used to reach for each other without thinking. A brush of hands, a lingering hug, the quiet comfort of skin on skin. But somewhere along the way, those small touches became rare, and the distance between you grew wider than the space in your bed. Intimacy isn't just about sex, though that matters too. It's about feeling seen in your joys, your fears, your quietest moments. If you've stopped sharing those parts of yourself, or if he has, it's easy to start feeling like roommates instead of partners. Maybe you've tried to reconnect, only to face rejection or indifference. That pain is real. Love shouldn't leave you feeling lonelier than being alone. Try this. Start small. Hold hands during a movie. Leave a note on his pillow. Say, "I miss us." If he's open, that's a beginning. But if he dismisses you, or worse, blames you for nagging, ask yourself, can I live with this emptiness forever? Because you deserve warmth, not just companionship. You dreamed of lazy mornings, shared hobbies, finally having time for each other. But reality hit. He fills his days with golf or the news, while you're left wondering, is this all there is? Retirement magnifies what was already there. If you were drifting apart before, Now it's impossible to ignore. Suddenly, the man who was barely home is always there, yet somehow more distant than ever. He's content with routine. You crave meaning. Or maybe he expects you to fill his schedule while your own dreams gather dust. This isn't the freedom you imagined. Love in this season should feel like an adventure, not a life sentence. If you're thinking, "I didn't wait decades to feel this stuck," listen to that. Reinvention isn't selfish. It's survival. Take that class. Plan that trip, with or without him. The best relationships grow and adapt. If he won't join you, that's his choice. But staying small to keep him comfortable? That can't be yours. How many times have you swallowed your words because "Hoot's not worth the fight," or smiled through a compliment like, "You're such a great cook," while screaming inside, "But do you see me?" Being taken for granted chips away at your soul. Love isn't just about staying, it's about choosing each other daily. If he doesn't notice your efforts, or worse, acts entitled to them, that's not love, it's habit. You might think, if I just explain it right, but after years of trying, the truth is he doesn't want to understand, because listening would mean changing. Stop waiting for gratitude that'll never come. Start giving yourself the appreciation you deserve. Say no to what drains you. Say yes to what lights you up, even if he doesn't clap, because the right people don't need reminders to value you. One day, you look in the mirror and think, "How much time do I have left?" Not in fear, in clarity. The years of putting others first start to feel less like love and more like a theft of your own life. This isn't a midlife crisis. It's a midlife awakening. You don't want a fling or a fancy car. You want a life that fits, one where you're not just loved but alive. Maybe that means leaving. Maybe it means staying but on your terms. Either way, the bravest thing you can do is admit, "I want more." Because here's the secret. You don't need permission to choose yourself. Not from him, not from society, not even from the younger you who thought sacrifice was noble. The noblest thing. Living boldly while you still can. If any of this resonates, please know you're not a villain for wanting happiness. Love shouldn't cost you your joy, your voice, or your soul. Change is terrifying, but regret is heavier. Whether you stay or go, promise yourself this: no more shrinking, no more settling. However small the step, a hard conversation, a solo trip, a therapist's appointment, take it. The world needs women who refuse to disappear, and you deserve a love that feels like home.